Hello survivors, welcome to a brand new Soulstone survivor video. Today we're on the Arcane Weaver playing with the Glacius Rod of Eternal Ice. Ours is plus 20, but that doesn't really matter too much except for base stats. The important thing is taking the Skill Mastery Ice with Glacial Affinity and the Frozen Warhammer. And we're going to run Weapon Expert as well as Reroll Mastery. The reason we're taking Weapon Expert is actually for the very beginning of the round. We do need something to help us defeat the enemies, since this weapon you start off with Frost Beam as well as Ice Shield. And the only reason we're using this weapon is because of the artifact power, which is going to give us, not brittle, it gives us slow using the mana beams. And we are going to be a slow stacking build. We're then running Multicast Mastery, Advanced Tactics, Divine Legacy, and Battle Proficiency. That's going to allow us to stack more Battle Prowess, and we're going to go from there. This is a +0 build, unfortunately. We did attempt it on a higher level, and it does work like super slowly, but you'd probably die of boredom before I landed up killing anything. So we start off with Frost Beam and Ice Shield. And then we're going to go and see where it takes us from there. But since we do run a direct damage build or skill, we're going to start off with Mhyzahet and grab ourselves the exposed on hit. Now in the beginning it is a lot easier on this difficulty. If you had to do this on a much higher difficulty, I would wait till like level 4 or 5, or until you got all 6 of your skills before you even attempt a challenge, unless it's one of those ones that you just need to survive the ghosts. Then it's okay, but otherwise we are not in a very good place with regards to survival in higher difficulty. So you want to make sure you got the right skills, or you've got something that's going to help you defeat enemies beforehand. You might have to take other skills just in case as well. Whereas today the whole point is for us to take only buffs and a single skill. So we're only taking Frozen Warhammer, and we're going to be running a whole lot of buffs for that, and they're going to do their thing for us. So that's what we're looking at. We do need to just make sure we get the skill as well. So we're going to go for Behemoth, and then let's see what we can get. Arcane Power. We do find a multicast for magical. I can't remember if that was magical or physical. I think it's both, but we do want that touch of ice, or the slow on hit, for those who like my accent. And now we got other skills. There's Glacial Affinity, beautiful. So now we can start getting the upgrades for it. Movement speed's really good. There's the Frozen Warhammer. It is magical, so that was a really good call on my behalf. Potency for the Glacial Affinity. It goes from 220 max bonus to 310. That is quite a big buff. And the way that it works essentially is Glacial Affinity is going to increase our maximum damage. And we're using the Arcane Weaver because the Arcane Weaver has a lot of buff skills in their repertoire. So we actually can get really strong. We're going to have a lot of multicast. We're going to have a lot of damage. We're going to have a lot of everything. And it just works out really cool. So I think we take Might as well. I know we take Might. There we go. There's Might. We can banish multicast because we're going to have Arcane Power as well as Finesse. We don't need Powerful Strikes because we've got Might as well as Glacial Affinity. Slow stacking is what we want, so every time we see a slow, we are going to grab it. We can grab a couple of these, but right now we are going to hold off on them. And I'm going to... Actually, no, there we will take it. We're still looking for some skills. I think we're looking for 2 more buffs. We're looking for Arcane Shield and Bloodlust. There's Arcane Shield, so we can get rid of the Frost Beam now. We do not need armor. We're already in green, and we got 18.4% armor. Because we're on a low Sigil of the Void, the enemies aren't as tanky and they don't hit as hard, so we do not need armor. We do not need Expansive because we will be going Brittle to Colossal, or you can go Brittle to Colossal in this build, and therefore you can get the area of effect that way. There's no need for it any other way. And because we have Divine Legacy and we need area of effect on the buffs, we will pick up 1 or 2 of the magical area of effect upgrades as well. Although the only buff that needs area of effect I think is physical, so kind of knocking ourselves out there. Yeah, that's physical. Alright, that is a problem, but it's fine. Okay, we're looking for the last buff, not finding it, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then we're going to grab ourselves the critical strike chance first.
That's what I needed. Void fragment collected. The Titan's fate is sealed.
Alright, perfect. Okay, Leviathan is not needed. Block power, same reason as armor, we do not need it. And then multicast chance over there, we're going to have to keep off of the... Okay, we don't need durations, but we'll hold onto that for now. And we need to grab ourselves the potencies as much as possible for glacial affinity. And the reason for that, and also these arcane knowledge, is actually amazing because that's 24% increased damage for these as well. So it goes from 370 to 418. So very, very, very good to get the potency on glacial affinity. And we're going to get a lot of prowess from the build. So
step by step, the hunt takes shape.
okay, potency on Mart. There's our bloodlust. Thank you very much. And there is our build. So we do get the damage increases again. This one is... oh, wait, this is physical as well. Wait, we actually have more physical. Okay, good, good, good. So we can go for things like that. Area of effect there, which means we'll also get area of effect for glacial affinity. So we don't actually need the magical area of effect. We only need the physical. So in this case, we actually got a double... oh, I don't know why I locked that one, but there we go. So damage for the buffs. I want the damage for us. And beautiful. We actually get... okay, thank goodness we actually got double physical as well. I was worried that glacial affinity won't be able to get any of those 50% damage bonuses, and it is our main source of damage increase along the way, so we need it. And then the potency on bloodlust is going to obviously assist with the cast frequency of everything else. So the more bloodlust we have, the better it is for the entire build, including movement speed. So cast frequency, ensuring that we get bloodlust up 24/7 is going to be very important. And then if you're wondering what all the stuff on the minimap is, it's all of our crystals that you can pick up for your ascension. Okay, area of effect or slow, let's go with the slow. Remember, the more stacks of slow that we apply, the more damage we're going to be doing. Currently on 171 damage, but as soon as we increase it with that, as you can see, it nearly doubled in damage just because of the glacial affinity and Mart buff. But eventually they're all going to be popping at the exact same time. Alright, so we're going to grab ourselves the magnetic, just so we can get that bonus XP. I did get asked the other day how much magnetic is a good amount before you remove it. In my opinion, the best amount is the amount that gets it so that no matter where you defeat an enemy, it is going to give you that XP. So in my opinion, it is the whole map. I don't know what the exact amount is, but you want to get the entire map being possible on the magnetic. Let's go for damage over here, because that's going to increase the damage of Frozen Warhammer as well as Glacial Affinity. My computer was doing something there that the mouse cursor decided, my computer cursor decided to show up instead of the game cursor. Oh, we also don't really need defenses because we have Arcane Shield. Arcane Shield is a weird buff because it actually scales in two ways. You can use normal damage and then it has its own potency. I'll explain how it works now once we finish this fight, so I can take a look at the skill itself and we'll show you what happens. Hopefully we can get a potency upgrade for it so I can actually show you how it works. But yeah, so let's just take a look here. Okay, no potency upgrade. So there's two factors here. There's the shield health and then there's damage per health. Now shield health is going to be the potency upgrade, and the damage per shield health is going to be like your Glacial Affinity and Mart will both increase that number, and then general upgrade like arcane damage upgrades, and things like that are going to upgrade the damage per health. But the only thing is that your normal potencies are what you need to increase the shield's health. Now we are going to go for Brokenth because that's where the Prowess stacking begins. So the more Prowess we have, the more stacks, or it's going to allow us to stack more Prowess. We're going to grab one of those. Haven't played with Prowess in a very long time. We also land up, or eventually can get Prowess to Resilience, and then you can go Resilience to Purity if you feel like you need some healing. But as you can see with the Arcane Shield, you don't really need to heal because majority of the damage, as long as you get more and more potency, you're going to land up getting the shield having more health. Okay, some cast frequency. We actually don't need this cast frequency anymore, so I'm going to banish it. The reason I say we don't need it anymore is as soon as we start getting more potency here, it's going to drop the cooldown of everything else. So just grab that. Potency being very important here. This is 30%, this is 30%, so I'm going to grab this one because it's going to increase the damage of Frozen Warhammer as well. Over here we do not need the cast frequency, we're just going to banish them. And we could grab a duration here, but there is no need for it. No need for the duration. Potency is beautiful. Just potency and the cast frequency on Bloodlust now. And we should be Gucci.
Step by step, the hunt takes shape.
Alright, this one's a bit rough because we've got... got a reroll there. So there was a potency upgrade. You can see the shield health went up from 30 to 39. Over here we got the damage increase for this, which is beautiful because that's going to increase there. And then we've got area of effect again for this. We're actually just going to grab this damage. Yeah, also an area of effect for this is going to be very, very good. So I'm actually going to grab both of these. Area and damage. Beautiful. So the way that area of effect works with some buffs is because it affects allies, or in this case because it deals or gives you stats based on slow stacks on enemies, you actually do want it to have somewhat shape and size and form to have area of effect. But because we are running Brittle, you can just run Brittle to Colossal. But the reason I'm not running just Brittle to Colossal is because we're looking to get a little bit of area of effect in the beginning to assist us with our damage in the beginning. So until you get Brittle to Colossal, grabbing that little bit of area of effect makes quite a big difference. So it's based on the slow stacks on nearby enemies. So the more area of effect you have, the more enemies it takes into consideration when it procs. Okay, we do actually want a Prowess to Resilience, so we'll grab that one. We still need some more cast frequencies, so we'll grab a little bit. We're on full uptime of Bloodlust now, which is really good, which means that all of our buffs are now permanent. And we just have to worry about potencies. And this is already on a 1.1 second cooldown. Unfortunately, no skill chain in this build, but we do get a lovely, what are those things called? Loot Goblin. I don't know why I can't remember that they loot goblins, okay. Alright, there we go.
Step by step, the hunt takes shape.
Let's go and grab these since we're here, and there's only 3. Ugh, it's fine. Okay. We get a Swift. We don't need cast frequency, so we'll grab a Magnetic. Grab the Touch of Ice. We need more critical strike chance, but potency is good here. Area of effect, again, it's good for the glacial affinity, but we need critical strike chance. Sub-zero damage, that means that all of these are going to get 24 potency, so we'll grab that. And you could see things like that did not increase the shield health, but increased the damage per health on the arcane shield. That's just a really interesting concept for the skill itself, that its potency doesn't increase certain aspects of it and so on and so forth. I think it's quite interesting. Alright, we're going to go grab this blue one over here. There's potency. We don't need this. I'm going to grab more magnetic. Don't need the durations. And then a slow. The best thing about these on-hit effects like slow, doom, curse, dazed, doesn't matter which one it is, as long as you have it in the build, the skill that scales off of it, so in this case Frozen Warhammer, is going to apply the slow stacks for you. Now obviously this isn't the strongest version of the skill, because if you just used something like grabbing another slow skill or another skill that can apply the slow, obviously that's going to be a little bit better because they're going to be a bit stronger that way. But in terms of, you know, just having fun and messing about and using buffs, because I don't ever see people running every single or most of the buffs in the game, it's just something different that, you know, works, as you can see.
Titan blood secured. But the hunt continues.
Alright, so here we go. Every time you apply Prowess, you have a chance to multiply the quantity of stacks applied. So we're going to go and pick that up. Damage for the Frozen Warhammer. We've got quite a lot of magnetic stacks already, so this is going to be a wonderful bonus XP. 80% is pretty decent. So let's see how much we get already on a decent amount. Reduce the amount of mana consumed. That's good. We need more ice. No durations, magnetic's fine, potency's perfect, potency, lethality, damage increase for absolutely everything except for this. Weirdly enough, this is not area. That's crazy. So everything else is area. Potency, movement speed. We get more magnetic. So remember I said earlier, when you want or when you think you have enough magnetic, I'm not sucking up any of the XP over there yet. That means I do not have enough magnetic on my character. It's just a funny thing to go by. You don't have to do it that way, but it's just, that's when you know you have enough magnetic. The only other reason to then get it is to keep up with the XP curve, which in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, especially in Titan Hunt, because of the way that it functions. But in terms of, oh, have I got enough or not? It's literally just, well, can you suck up every single piece of XP without moving? If you can, then yeah, you've got enough of it. If you can't, well, maybe you should relook at that. So we're actually going to go and possibly grab another Prowess stack over here. Weirdly enough, we haven't received a slow to Disarray yet. Actually, let's go Midorahk. That gives us one full Titan run before we get a slow to Disarray.
No fear.
And then we can look at getting Disarray to Disoriented. But we should see a significant power increase now. The only thing with Glacial Affinity is you need to be careful, because the way that it works is it gives you damage based on how many slow stacks you have. In the very beginning of a round, you're not going to have any slow stacks on an enemy. So it's a little bit of a ramping up damaging effect, but it does give you beautiful amounts of damage. We don't need the duration, cast frequency as well, we don't need it anymore because it is on a low cast frequency already. So we just need to look at potency. I don't know why I grabbed the cast frequency there.
Fragment claimed. The Titan feels it.
Okay, let's grab the Merciless. So you'll just see the XP bar filling up. As you can see, we do not have enough magnetic. I'm standing here and we can't even pick up that XP over there. That definitely means that we need to get more magnetism on our build. The fact that we can stand there and not pick up that area of effect or that magnetism means that we need to work on that. Also, you don't need armor and block on this build because of Arcane Shield. We're already shielding 100 damage from enemies. It's only going to really make a big difference when you get to like the Sigil 8s and 9s in terms of the Vials, sorry, the Titan Slain, not the Sigils. But Arcane Shield's pretty cool. I think people don't like using it because of the amount of investment you have to put into it for it to actually even do anything. But if you're banishing armor and block, and you've got an extra skill slot and you don't know what to put on and you're playing the Arcane Weaver, you can grab Arcane Shield. It's just the only thing is it's magical, so if you're playing with a magical build, then it's fun as well. If you're playing with a physical build, then rather just leave it out, because you don't need to worry about the potency. You can just grab those legendary damage upgrades. It won't block much, but it will do a whack ton of damage to enemies around, and it can apply negative effects when it procs. Alright, potency increases, touch of slow.
Keep moving.
Touch of slow. Alright, potency 107 to 120. More cast frequency, I don't know why.
Let's grate it properly.
I guess we can get the Frozen Warhammer to as low as possible. But this is going to make it, I mean, look, we can just stand here now, and you can see it says 0, 0, 0. It did do damage eventually because it broke the Arcane Shield, and we don't have it up more or long enough. What else can we actually get here? There's Aptitude, there's Radiance. Every time you critically strike, you have a chance to apply Aptitude, so we might come back for that. But for now, Brittle to Colossal. We can go grab Sandstorm, but I actually want to grab another Prowess from Brokenth. We didn't get the Disarray on hit, so we can't do Aruanak. Otherwise, you would do Aruanak, and you would wait for the Brokenth if you wanted to carry on going. You would also grab the Colossal or the Sandstorm from Mhyzahet if you kept going. But in this case, as you can see, we don't have to worry about turning visuals off, because we literally just got one skill doing all of the visual damage. Although with the area, maybe we still need to work on getting more of it. I don't see it really hitting. Oh, it actually does. So the area of effect doesn't look like it changes too much, but it's still hitting. Even though I'm hitting here, it is applying damage to enemies behind us. So the area of effect does actually make quite a big difference, which is good. That's what we're looking for. Critical strikes. We're looking for damage increases. I'm gonna go and pick up. No, we don't need the area. We'll take the damage there, a potency increase for that, and then that. We still need more crit though. Okay, frequency at which the crystals appear, sorry. Reduce the amount of mana infusion lost while we have our Ascension active. Our Ascension gives us quite a lot of multicast chance, a decent amount of movement speed, area, and damage, so it is well worth grabbing.
Bloody persistence.
And there we go, you can actually see the movement speed difference while it's up. And then Frozen Warhammer going crazy.
Fragment claimed. The Titan feels it too.
The only thing with having low cooldowns on buffs like Glacial Affinity is you're going to lose that damage increase if you don't have enemies to hit. So it's not always going to be at its maximum amount. Now we're on 1731, and it just depends on what enemies you're hitting or how many enemies you've been hitting. So now it's on 2410, and it just changes periodically depending on how many enemies around you have been hit and how many slow stacks you actually have. So it's just something to think about. Also how much potency you have on the actual skill. But that's why we try and stack as much slow as possible. And then you can see damage per stack 708, and then damage per health 616, and then that's also 129 health. So if we get hit, they did like 29 damage, took off 10 damage, so you times that by 10, so it did 6,200 damage to that one enemy just because it took off a little bit of health from the Arcane Shield. So that's the way Arcane Shield works, at least. Pretty nifty little buff. And that's the thing, it's a buff. Alright, potency on Mart. That's just flat out damage. Beautiful. Trying to get as much of it as possible. That's why we're going for the Prowess stacking as well, because that's damage. And we can have 1,000 Prowess stacks.
Momentum is power. Keep moving.
And then we're just getting like a free 200-300% area of effect on our skills as well. Let's go look for some more potency in places. Slow is fine. critical damage is good. We still need crits on 100s, that's fine. There's potency for multicast. So 212% multicast chance. We could just grab Fadem and go multicast to Finesse and would probably be on a much stronger position. But remember, it's only going to be the Frozen Warhammer that's going to be applying that Finesse. Alright, we took a little bit of damage over there. It's not the end of the world. We are here for the Prowess again. Don't need Shattered right now. We can always come back and get Shattered if necessary. Still no Disarray though. That's crazy since we started off with slow at the very beginning. These things happen.
Titan's blood is mine. The portal beckons.
This is the Netherworld, and then we got the Void King and the Corrupted Void Hunter. Corrupted Void Hunter can be just damage, and then wound would be the best thing for, or even fragility, because we don't have any fragility. Because we don't go, I mean, okay, we would actually go wound, because if you kept going forward, your next thing you would go Midorahk again, get exposed to radiance, and then move from there. The thing is, there's every type of a negative effect can be received from the Titans at the moment. So as long as you get the relevant upgrades, then you'll be fine to grab it. So like, you can get Dazed, we can grab Dazed from a Colossal, we can grab Dazed from Poison, you can grab Disoriented from Disarray, and we got slow already to get the Disarray, we just need to actually find it. You can get Fragility from Exposed, and so on and so forth. So everything is there for the taking. It's just about being lucky enough or planning it ahead and getting the right Titans. But we don't need the Disarray or the Fragility from the Void King, because we can get them from the Titans, but you can't get Wound anywhere else but from the Void King. So it is very well worth taking Wound, because it is a very, very powerful buff for your character. So definitely well worth grabbing it. Let's go damage increase over here. Thing is, it doesn't help locking. So unless I like lock the multicast, which is actually also a pretty good idea. We can grab more magnetic. Again, we're not really sucking up the entire screen worth of XP, so it's still worth grabbing more magnetic until we can pick up the entire screen. Also, visually, we did get a little bit more area of effect because of multicast and things like that, so you can see the explosions occurring from the buffs, which is a little bit of an arsehole. We'll just turn visuals down to 20%. It's actually still happens quite badly.
Piece by piece,
maybe 10%.
I can feel it.
Maybe that's another quality of life the developers can looking at changing. You don't need the visual cue for the buffs to be so large, regardless of how much area of effect you have for them.
The spell will break.
No, we're not doing you. Oh, there's a +4 here anyway. We'll just go grab you.
Probably trouble.
Okay, more potency. We can grab the damage increases. More potency, love to see it. Multicast chance, legendary, beautiful. We actually have like no life upgrades as well, which is really bad. So, you know, that's something we need to look at grabbing as well. But here we go. Last set of bosses. Oi. Thought we'd be able to tank a lot more damage than that, but no. That's why people don't like Arcane Shield, because it really doesn't do much for you. That did not... Every time. Every time.
For the Dawnstone.
Where were you like 10 minutes ago? Alright, so this takes a little bit of time to start scaling, but once it's scaled up, it should be fine. I think the best part is that when you're fighting the Void King, all the stacks transfer. So it's much easier for you, like if you have your Ascension, like yeah, it all resets. But when you do the Void King fight, none of that actually happens. But we go damage, cost, frequency, and movement speed. It's a 0.6 to a 0.6, so it really didn't make much of a difference. But it is what it is. We got the damage increase, okay? That's all that matters. Now, we are going to see how much damage we can get to before we defeat the Void King. So let's get our Ascension up before I even look at the stats, unless things happen and he gets defeated before I can even find our Ascension. Looks like the latter. We don't even have that much damage. We're sitting on 1139 right now. It went to 2376 and he just got like one tapped. Don't even know how, but he got whacked and got defeated. So things to look for, again, you're going to grab the wound, and the reason for it is to just get more slow stacks. Remember, the more slow you have, the more damage you're going to be doing. So we're going to grab that. Remember, this is on any effect that you apply. So slow is a debuff. We're not looking to get the slow debuff to be working. That's actually hard capped at about 40%. Even though it says reduces movement speed by 64%, that doesn't actually matter. That amount is capped at a specific amount. And then the actual stacks of the slow are what's important. And then you can go and grab yourself the radiance to, sorry, the exposed to radiance, and then grabbing things that will increase your damage otherwise. So grabbing more of the Prowess stacks from Brokenth. You can grab resilience to purity as well, because you got the resilience over here. You'll probably find another one of these, and then you can go resilience to form, and then things like that as well will be really, really good. And then if you get the form on hit from Mhyzahet, you can go form to haste. You can grab the haste upgrade from Aruanak, and then you can go haste to finesse. You can go the finesse upgrade to get finesse to bulwark, and so on and so forth. You can grab every single debuff in the game eventually just by grabbing them. Once you get finesse to bulwark, you can go iron shroom from the other Titan, and so on and so forth. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's quite fun to try these builds and to mess around with them. They do work. You just got to tinker with them quite a bit. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.